ahead and take it away and talk about the last week and what we got ahead of us.
Yeah, sort of an interesting, deal playing the same team back to back over basically a 48-hour span. That can be tricky. We played okay Friday night, and so on that, on your day off, you're sort of thinking, you want to make some adjustments, but you also don't want to do too much. So you try more to just focus on yourself and things that your team can do better. Clearly we shot it better up there than we did at home, which is good to see. I think we're continuing to understand the shots that we want to get offensively, and how we want to flow an offense and what that needs to look like. Defensively, and really both sides of the ball, but especially defensively, we're still very much a work in progress. Our man-to-man is coming along, but not near the level it needs to be by conference play. We've thrown some zone in, and that's been good for us. So, to have a couple of different things we can go to is nice, but we've just got to get better across the board. Certainly rebounding's got to improve. But again, to ultimately go 2-0 this week after, two really, tough, close games the week before, get back to 500 with one more before the break. I'm pleased with where we are, but we certainly have a lot that we need to get better at as the non-conference comes to a close.
Go ahead, Jerry, jump in.
Hey, Coach. Hey, sorry about the lighting in my kitchen. Kind of renders my face a little scary there. Hope it's not too scary there for you.
It's all good, Jerry. Hey, good to see you.
Hey, just congratulations on the two victories, Coach. I was curious to know. I guess number one, I just wanted to get you to talk a little bit about Scoot's breakout game yesterday, and just as you were easing him into the flow here over the last week. He played two, didn't shoot it particularly well those first two games. What was your level of concern on his shot in his first two games, and did that surprise you then? The way he came out and shot lights out, and in the second North Dakota game.
No, definitely not a surprise. I mean, obviously we've been around him now for 6 months, so we know what he's capable of doing, and obviously we know what he's done in the past. Scoot is not necessarily what I would call a shooter. He's an elite scorer. He can make shots, he can drive it. Obviously, we've all seen his athleticism. When he gets steals, he has a knack, for getting to the rim and, creating points off turnovers on his own. And just the work he's put in. He has been so bought in since the day he stepped on campus to playing the way we need him to play, playing a role that we need him to play. And I don't mean to say role as if it's some sort of diminished. I mean, it's just he's guarding at a really, really high level. You saw him take, a big-time charge. He made a three yesterday, took a big-time charge. I mean, that's a championship sequence. He provides an edge and an energy that no one else on our team can provide, just quite frankly, with his speed and his length and his instincts. And just the passion he plays with. And that's not something that you can teach. That's something you got to find and recruit and get guys in your program that can do. Now, when you have guys that do that, it does seem to start to spread, right? And so, again, he brings a boost for us. And that's why I think he's great off the bench. I mean, obviously he's going to play starters minutes every night, but for us to kind of get in 3-4 minutes and then all of a sudden now you put this guy in who's a lightning rod, man, that's such a powerful weapon for us to have. Just really happy for him, with that performance yesterday. And I expect, for him to continue to grow and play consistently.
Can you talk a little bit about Damari Monsanto? I see in the statistics he's shooting around 39% from three now, and just his shot just looks great. And wanted to ask you about, his journey back because he's come a long way, as you know. You guys, you've talked about that before, just about where he was when he showed up for summer training. Just talk about the work that he's put in to get to this point.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he's clearly, he's one of the best pure shooters, maybe the best pure shooter I've ever coached. And then just his work ethic in the weight room, and in his rehab, his weights. I think he's lost about 15 pounds since he got here. Looks good. He's moving much better. And his game is now starting to really come all the way back. Not just his shooting, but his communication on the floor, because his basketball IQ is so high. Like we need him to communicate and direct certain things on both sides of the floor. You see us now kind of initiating a lot of offense through him in that trail, and just using him not just as a shooter but a ball mover is really been big for us. You see our assists have gone up, and I think he plays a big part in that, as well as making shots. So yeah, really happy for him, and I think you're just going to continue to see him get better as the season goes.
Wanted to ask too, just one of the elements of the to sweep 2 games in 3 days, in a couple of cities so far removed from one another, San Antonio and then Grand Forks, North Dakota, 2 days later. That was quite an accomplishment there for you, Coach. I wanted to ask you on preparation for the second game. How much of a factor was it that y'all were able to charter up there late Friday night, and you left late Friday night and were able to get in there, pretty early in the morning Saturday? Those guys got a good night's sleep before you got them up to get them going the next day. How much did that charter travel help you in your preparation for game 2?
Man, it certainly made a difference. There's no question about that. For us to get there to the hotel, got there pretty late, around 2, maybe 2:30. But yeah, you sleep in and then you wake up and have some breakfast, and you can go ahead and get that film done in the early afternoon, give them a few more hours off, then come back in the evening and go shoot and watch a little bit more film or whatever. But yeah, I mean, it makes a huge difference to sort of be able to get on that plane, get there, put that one to bed earlier in the day maybe than you would if you didn't charter. And then it kind of, again, it's just it's little things, it's a little detail. You wouldn't, we've done it the other way too. You're not going to make an excuse either way. But when you can do it, it's certainly, is in my opinion, it's certainly a competitive advantage. And so, really blessed that we were able to do that, and kind of get down there and get settled and get to work. Excuse me.
How much do you think you'll be able to charter the rest of this season, Coach? Do you have that planned out in advance, or?
Well, that stuff we've looked at some different things. We will have a few more as we go, and hopefully as we continue to build this thing and continue to bring more money and find different ways to make it happen, we'll charter as much as we can. If we can, great. If we can't, fine. We'll go and compete. We're never going to use it as an excuse. Certainly, it's a great luxury to have when you can. But if not, all good, and we'll go and find a way to win.
I was coming out to talk to Dr. Campos and your administrators on, I guess it's Wednesday when they do the groundbreaking for the new practice facility. Just wanted to get your take on just what that's going to mean for the future of this program, and just how it will affect your everyday life to be in a facility like that.
Well, that's what makes it so important. I mean, you just said it. It affects everyday life for our student athletes. How we practice, how we eat, how we work out, our schedule now. We can just, even now, just little things. Now our weight room's in the same area as our practice gym, right? And our film room's right there. And there's just so many. There's so many ways that it's going to positively affect our program on a day-to-day basis, which is the most important thing. I know. Obviously, a lot of people talk about the combo. That's fine. I think we can pack the combo and make it an incredible environment. The practice facility is something that is going to affect our student athletes every single day. Daily deposits to help them improve physically, mentally, and that's just that's obviously it's a game changer. And so little by little, we're chipping away at this thing. We're playing better basketball. Dr. Campos has done an incredible job of just continuing to lead us and steer us in the right direction. And obviously, I'm honored to follow her on this journey, and we're excited for the future for sure.
Coach, was that facility, and just knowing that you were going to have that facility, was that helpful in your fall recruiting?
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, obviously, Dorian and Caden are fired up about of course, what we're doing, but also, yeah, I mean, when you talk about what they're going to have their sophomore year, I mean, that's something that's going to help their player development and just make everything, their entire experience here easier and better and help them win more games. Just quite frankly, I mean, it's going to help us. It's going to translate to more wins, just in a lot of different ways. And so, yeah, clearly moving forward, that's going to be something that's at the forefront of what we want to show and preach to the guys coming here, that we're really, upgrading, things that are going to help us win championships.
Seems like your scheduling will be, just when you can schedule practices will be so much better than what you have now, right? I mean, you're kind of, when all three teams are, or when volleyball's playing, in the early part of the fall semester, and you're all trying to find a time to practice and everything. It just seems like the scheduling for practices is going to be so much easier on you, right?
Well, it's better for everybody. It's better for Carol. It's better for Karen. It just gives everyone more options, to kind of run things the way that they want it to be run. Two practices can happen simultaneously, whatever the case may be. And those, Carol and Karen have been great about just, coexisting with us coexisting with them. And I'm the new guy. So I, just trying to make sure that, we're doing our part to make sure that, obviously, yeah, we want to get our time in, but it's really important that everyone gets their time in. And with one facility, that can be trickier, right? So, now it's certainly going to be much easier. And I think, it's not just going to, like I said, it's not just going to be something that help men's basketball. It's going to really help women's basketball. And it's really going to help volleyball. And you're going to see more wins on for all three of us.
Once again, thank you very much for joining.